All right, where are we? 61. Let us now consider briefly the sorts of jests that chiefly excite laughter. Let this then be our first division, that whatever is expressed wittily consists sometimes in a thought, sometimes in the mere language, but that men are most delighted with a joke when the laugh is raised by thought and the language in conjunction. But remember this, that whatever topics I shall touch upon from which ridicule may be drawn, from almost the same topic serious thoughts may be derived. There is only this difference, that seriousness is used on dignified subjects with gravity, joking on such as are in some degree unbecoming and, as it were, grotesque. For instance, we may, with the very same words, commend a thrifty servant and jest upon one that is extravagant. That old saying of Nero about a thieving servant is humorous enough, that he was the only one from whom nothing in the house was sealed or locked up, a thing which is not only said of a good servant, but in the very same words. From the same sources spring all kinds of sayings. What his mother said to Spurius Carvilius, who halted grievously from a wound received in the public service and was on that account ashamed to go out of doors. Go, my Spurius, that as often as you take a step you may be reminded of your merits, was a noble and serious thought. But what Glaucia said to Calvinus was, when he limped, where is the old proverb, does he claudicate? No, but he claudicates, is ridiculous, and yet both are derived from what may be observed with regard to lameness. What is more ignave than this, Navius, said Cicero with severity, but Philippus with some humor to one who had a strong smell. I perceive that I am circumvented by you, yet it is the resemblance of words with the change only of a letter that constitutes both jokes. Those smart sayings which spring from some ambiguity are thought extremely ingenious, but they are not always employed to express jests, but often even grave thoughts. When Publius Licinius Varius said to Africanus the elder, when he was endeavoring to fit a chaplet to his head at an entertainment, and it broke several times, do not wonder if it does not fit you, for you have a great head, was a fine and noble thought, but he is bald enough, for he says but little, is of the same sort. Not to be tedious, there is no subject for jest from which serious and grave reflections may not be drawn. It is also to be observed that everything which is ridiculous is not witty, for what can be so ridiculous as a buffoon? But it is by his face, his appearance, his look, his mimicry, his voice, and, in fine, by his whole figure, that he excites laughter. I would have an orator, but an actor in pantomime to be witty. 62. This kind of jesting, above all, then, though it powerfully excites laughter, is not suited to use. It represents the morose, the superstitious, the suspicious, the vainglorious, the foolish habits of mind which are in themselves ridiculous, and such kind of characters we are to expose, not to assume. There is another kind of jesting which is extremely ludicrous, namely mimicry, but it is allowable only in us to attempt it cautiously, if ever we do attempt it, but for a moment, otherwise it is far from becoming to a man of education. A third is distortion of features utterly unworthy of us. A fourth is indecency in language, a disgrace not only to the forum, but to any company of well-bred people. So many things, then, being deducted from this part of oratory, the kinds of jesting which remain are, as I distinguished them before, such such as consist in thought or in expression. That which, in whatever terms you express it, is still wit, consists in thought. That which, by a change of words, loses its spirit, has no wit, but what depends on expression. Plays on ambiguous words are extremely ingenious, but depend wholly on the expression, not on the matter. They seldom, however, excite much laughter, but are rather commended as jests of eloquence and scholarship, as that about Titus, whom, being a great tennis player, and at the same time suspected of having broken the sacred images by night, Terentius Vespa excused when his companions inquired for him, as he did not come to the Campus Martius, by saying that he had broken an arm, or as that of Africanus, which is in Lucilius. Oh, Jesus. Quid Decius nucleum and fixium vis vicar inquit. Or, as your friend Granius Crassius said of somebody, that he was not worth the sixth part of an ass. And if you were to ask me, I should say that he who is called a jester excels chiefly in jokes of this kind, but that other jests excite laughter in greater degree. An ambiguous grain gains great admiration, as I observed before, from its nature, for it appears the part of a wit to be able to turn the force of a word to quite another sense than that in which other people take it. But it excites surprise rather than laughter, unless when it happens to be joined with some other sorts of jesting.